Welcome to Go For Side Effects. I'm your host, Kevin Salmon. Welcome to 2025, our first podcast of the year. Y'all know my lovely bald-headed co-host, John. John, how the hell you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
There's a
Doing good.
certain glow about you.
Man.
I'm
Why?
just saying.
Yeah, you're talking about that glow right there. I see it. Hell, the way it started out,
I
Kev.
thought it was a halo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
And so, tonight we got Darin Truax. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good. Great to be here. Appreciate it.
All right, Darin was in the United States Army, another Army guy. I apologize about the Army-Navy football game. Don't be upset with me.
Oh.
John and Wade had to wear lipstick. You know.
We held our end up. We
Yeah,
did what we were supposed
we
to.
did.
Didn't like it, but we did.
Okay, so Darin, I'm going to just do a little bit of a recap before we get into your story. We made a bet at the end of the year that whoever loses next year, and I'm giving a 10-point lead on this, 10 points, that the loser has to wear full drag, makeup, wig, dress, everything. So I'm going to apologize for what your Army buddies are going to look like on here.
Well, I want a little piece of that action.
And I want to wish everybody, Happy New Year's 2025, safe one, everything. Prayers are with the people in LA right now. California's just going through hell. And with that being said, y'all just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And now, Darin, let's get into your story. I talked to you for a while yesterday, and we've been talking about this. So go ahead and tell us when you went in, branch service, what you did, and then we're going to get into the fun details.
All right. And before we start, I've got to say, hats off to my Irish. They're getting ready to kick off against Penn State. Now we can go. So, but I believe it or not, I mean, in high school, I got a full ride scholarship to Ball State University, and got there and found out that for a kid who didn't drink in high school, found out that Jim Beam tasted really good.
Oh yeah,
really, really. So much it cost me my scholarship.
Oh,
and I owe my military career to my mother. I grew up in a small farm 3 miles from where I'm at right now. And came home from school that day and knocked on the front door because I'd left my key, and Mom goes, "Well, what are you doing home?" I said, "Well, I quit school." She goes, "That's awesome." She goes, "You're not staying here." And I was like, 4 days later, I was on a plane to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I went into field artillery as a 13 Fox Forward Observer, fire support specialist. Spent a year at SIL with basic and AIT. My first duty station was Fort Lewis, Washington, which my drill sergeant said, "Oh man, you're going to the mecca of duty assignments." Well, I don't know what the hell he was looking at, but it rained for the first 45 days I was there, and I wasn't as happy as he thought I would be. I can tell you that. I met my first wife there. We had 2 beautiful kids out of the deal. And then a year or 3 weeks after we got married, I came down on orders for Germany. And I came in and they said, "Hey, you're getting ready to go to Germany?" I said, "No, I haven't got orders yet." They said, "Oh, you're on vacation. We've got them over here to file somewhere." Needless to say, I saw my wife again a year later. When I got to Bamberg, Germany, I was assigned to 3-1 Field Artillery. That supported Alpha Company 335 Armor, 3rd Brigade, 1st AD, and we were the spearhead for Operation Desert Storm, Desert Shield for the 7th Corps. We were one of the first units to break through the lines of the Wadi-Albeteen. I mean, it was. I've seen it all there. I mean, I've seen. We had a guy. And I'll say this. I love military. But the guys who make the decisions, sometimes I don't think they're thinking what they're thinking about.
No, amen to that. I agree with you 110% there.
Here's what I mean. They thought it would be a bright idea for us to deploy on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Oh.
Genius, right?
So we're standing there, I'm like, man, I can't screw this up. I'm in formation. And here comes our driver, Private Vandover, and he's got a gash on his head from the top of his head right to his eyebrow because he got clocked by a Turk with pull cue.
Oh, shit.
So he's automatically on deployment. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what, my chief Jim Lockwood about choked the hell out of him that night. But we went to we got into Riyadh and picked up our equipment. We went out to TA Eagle, and that's where we started setting up at and doing all our training. I'd been in a mechanized unit, so I'd been in a wheeled unit. I'd never been in a mechanized unit before. You go out to the 9th Infantry Division, that's all towed howitzers. I'd never dealt with self-propelled anything. So when I got in there, it was a whole new learning experience for me. But I'll tell you what, I had the best chief money could buy. And he looked at me and he said, "Here's the deal." He goes, "I'm gonna bring you home safe." He goes, "You have my word on that." And to this day, we learned everything about each other. He taught me how to be an NCO. He really did.
No, that's cool.
Well, how long were you in Bamberg before? Maybe you already said this and I didn't catch it before you got the green light to go down to the Gulf.
That's a funny story. So I was in there and I got to Bamberg on 27 October of 90. My chief knew my wife was back in the States, and he goes, "Hey, come over to our house." He goes, "You'll have Thanksgiving dinner with us." So you know me, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta go." So I put the dress greens on and everything, go over there. And he goes, he's got a Denver Broncos t-shirt on. He goes, "What the hell are you wearing?" So we're sitting there and we're eating Thanksgiving dinner. His wife Leela and their 2 kids, and all of a sudden, AFN, you get breaking news, and here comes Dan Rather, and he goes, "Well, following units have been going to Operation Desert Storm Desert Shield." The first one out of his mouth was 1st Armored Division. He looked at me and he goes, "There's the phone. You better give her a call."
Wow.
See, so AFN, I don't know if you're familiar with that, Kevin, or it's Armed Forces Network. I don't know if you knew that or not. AFN. Yes, no, don't know.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
In Germany, I don't know how, but in Germany, Armed Forces Network, that during that time. So Darin, I spent most of my time in Germany, and you were at Bamberg. Now, wasn't Bamberg considered the Rock? Do I have that right? The Rock.
Baumholder's the Rock.
Baumholder. They both began with a B. I was
So,
So,
so wait a second.
Kevin.
Wait. Hold on. So, AFN, is that whenever, the guy from Vietnam first started, he was like, "Good morning, Vietnam." Is that the one who started it?
Yes, that's it.
Hey.
That's Armed Forces Network.
Yeah, did you know that, John?
No, I did not.
They made a movie about it. It's the only way I knew about it.
Well, no, I mean, I knew the new, but I didn't know the connection.
Yeah.
So, but that's also, I just learned something. Now, if I can retain that, I'll be doing great.
Yeah, shit.
We were deployed from Karlsruhe. So I was in Karlsruhe at 249th Engineers. Then when we came back, we went to Wild Flicking after we left all of it. So we were heavy equipment, construction engineers. We left all of our shit there. And then we came back to Wild Flicking. You ever been to Wild Flicking?
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
As a tanker? Or howitzer? I didn't know if howitzer. Tankers, I know, hated it. I was permanent party though, so it was like way better than if I was, because I wasn't in the field like you guys all the time.
Yeah, we went up there just to do 50 qualifications, so I hated it. But I mean, it's still worse than graph or anything else.
See, graph the.
So the cool thing about it was I played high school baseball. When I got to Germany, I somehow along the way, they found out that I was a pretty good baseball player, and I was at the time. Well, after we came back from Desert Storm, the CG came up and gave us all awards, and he looked at my name tag and goes, "Truax." And I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "You played baseball, didn't you?" I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "You're officially on my post softball team now."
Just like that. It's like that.
Oh, no, because here it comes. Our first game of the season, we're playing against, believe it or not, we're playing against the Rock Baumholder. They came down to play us. I'm going to catch it. And the second baseman falls back, shatters my hand, breaks my wrist in 7 places, dislocates 2 street fingers, breaks my hand in
Damn.
4 places.
What
And
is
for the
up
next
with
14
you
months-
Army guys in softball?
In the next 14 months, I was in a cast.
Whoa.
What is up with you guys in softball? Because almost everybody who I talked to that was ever in the Army was like, yeah, I played softball.
Hey, you know what?
Hey,
In
I did not.
I mean, it was a big deal though, right?
I played 162 games in Texas just to see what it would be like to play a major league season. So between Killeen, Fort Hood, and Waco, I played 162 games that season.
That is crazy. All right, I want to get into Desert Storm. I really do, because you told me a story earlier, and with buttons and pulling stuff, we're going to get into that.
I want to talk about the one where the morning of, I had not been feeling well, and you guys know this. Them damn MREs, they put that chocolate covered cookie and peanut butter in it. Now I'm going to tell you what. That some bitch. That was my cheat. That was my mistress. Was chocolate covered cookie and peanut butter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hell yeah.
And I mean, we're shitting in buckets. So of course, when I'm licking that doggone peanut butter off there, I could care less where we were shitting. And I wake up that morning, I'm like, oh, so they send me down to the medic. And I mean, it's 2:00 in the morning. The medic's like, you got dysentery, and we're gonna medevac you to the rear. I said, you say? I said, you're gonna put some IVs in my arm. We're gonna fill me up, and I'm gonna go, because I knew we were getting ready to move out. So they put 2 IVs, 1 in each arm, and they fucking pushed 2 of them through me. I'm walking out, and the NCO, the NBC NCO looks at me and goes, "Here's 9 sets of mop gear. You're gonna need them."
Oh my God. Yeah, at least you had stuff in. Wait a second. Hold on. Okay, so he gave them. They're in the bags.
Oh yeah.
Really? Oh wow. Okay. Well, at least somebody got some new shit.
Yeah. Okay. That ours was in the bag.
On until we got on the plane to fly home.
Well, see, I just want you to know, John never got any of the new shit. John got the left me overs from World War One.
We got one outfit. I don't know what.
That's what we got.
One.
We had one.
Yep, we have one.
Remember though, but you were. Yeah. They don't serve you much good when they say, the M8 alarms. Oh no, it's a false reading. But anyway, that's a different story. But in your situation, Darin, when you're moving forward like you were, okay, well, good, because most of the people we talk to, or that I've heard, didn't have new shit or didn't have replacement filters for the mask or shit like that.
Well, I can tell you that I can tell you by the time we hit the Wadi-Albeteen, I went through 7 of those mop suits.
No shit.
And my chief was tired of throwing them out of the top of the track. In fact, he come across the radio, he goes, Truax, he goes, so up you got it. He goes, if you shit in another one of these, he said, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
Oh. So yeah, you had a little bit of dirty laundry. That's why you're getting rid of them. Okay.
So we get to the Albertine, and like I said, if it had not been for engineers of Bangalore torpedoes, I don't know how the hell we got across it, because my unit was the first one through the Wadi on 7th Corps. You're sitting there, and of course, I'm the fire support specialist, so I'm in the back of the 113. Okay, so before I start, you know what an M981 is? That is a VSV. And what they did is they took a 113, they took the gas tanks and mounted on the outside. Then they put a hammerhead on top of it so we can use our laser precision munitions.
Okay, I'm following you there.
Okay.
I'm with you.
So we go across the Wadi-Albeteen. The first thing we hit is the Battle of Al-Besya, biggest tank battle that has been fought in the history of tank battles. And we are we're fighting to keep up with the M1s because you've got a FISV with a 113 engine in it, weighted down by everything, trying to keep up with something that's got a jet engine in it. It just doesn't usually keep up very well.
Couldn't the damn M1s go damn near 60 miles an hour at the time?
Yeah, because all of them turn the governors off. So you turn the governor off, that some bitch will go 65, 70 miles an hour.
Okay,
And
interesting.
we're back there going. So we get up and Chief's like, I gotta take a break. So I get up in the hatch and of course I've got the 60 ready to go, man. I want to kill something. And I mean, I'm watching, they're blowing up, they're using heat rounds of bunkers. I mean, they're using their coaxial, and I watch a tank go, and he fires his main round at a guy, and that guy lasts about 2 seconds.
Wow.
With the coaxial, and just obliterated that guy out in the open. We're moving along, and all of a sudden, it's like somebody hit the back of my track with a sledgehammer. And I'm not talking like a 5-pound sledgehammer. I'm talking like a 100-pound sledgehammer. And I don't tell this story as good as Lieutenant Lenz does. Lieutenant Lenz was my FSO. He was sitting in the back. He goes, Truax, he goes, Chief came across my head. He goes, what the fuck was that? I'm like, I'm not sticking my head out. Get the fucking door open. He caught me through the track. So he goes, Darin, he goes, you open the door. He goes, your face went completely white. And he goes, you sat down on the doorstep. I open up the back door. I lock it open. I get ready to take a step out. I take a step. I look to my right about a foot, and I come crashing to the ground. Next to us was a RPG-7, fully intact, that did not rotate 27 times before it could harden itself. It took a 4X gas out of our fuel tank.
Oh, wow.
So had that armed, once again, the bright guys in the Army said, you know what, we moved these fuel tanks outside, but we'll keep all the fuel lines inside. So had it hit that, Darin wouldn't be here today.
Well,
that was an eye opener.
that one.
That one shook me up. I dodged I dodged a bullet that day. It really did.
I will tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you this right now. This is why I didn't join the Army. Right there. I mean, I hear a lot of you guys' stories, and I mean, there's a part of me that envies you, but there's a part of me that envies me more. That I was out in the ocean, and you can see it from a distance. Because I mean, especially getting up on the front line, you don't know what you're going to go through. You don't know what's going to happen to you. You don't know what you're going to happen to the buddies in the tank's next to you. But I just want to know, did your tank have a lot of buttons?
Oh, my buttons all over the place, buddy.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine me in a tank, John?
No.
I'm going to press fire 1, fire 2, fire 3, fire 4. And then what does this red one do?
Oh, that smoke grenades on the front of it. We even had smoke grenades, 6 of them that went out.
You know, be honest with you, they probably would have had an ejection seat just so I would big old button going press there, Kevin. You know, but because, when I was in, I like pressing buttons. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just really cool. What does this thing do? Boom. What does this thing do? Boom. And most of the time, it's not a smart idea to press buttons.
Not if you don't know what the hell's going to happen.
You know that, Kevin?
What?
My 8-year-old just have a heyday.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, man. I mean, I don't care. You are never too old to press buttons.
Oh, no.
I mean,
I press buttons that I don't need to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like John's buttons, my wife's buttons, my dad, everybody's buttons, But, I mean, being out there, being in one of the biggest tank battles ever, I mean, there had to be so much going through your head at that time, you know.
I will tell you, in 1 year, so in the back of the 15, you've got 4 radios. You've got your company net, you've got your battalion net, where you call for fire at, you've got your mortars, and then you have your division net. And I had a speaker hooked up to where I could listen to all 4. And then this year I have Metallica playing. And this is, long story short, when my dad, after my dad died, and we'll get into that probably in a little bit, but I went and saw Metallica in concert and fell in love with him because they were talking to me. But they have a song called Disposable Heroes. It goes back to the front. You will do what I say when I say you must die. So I've got this playing in my right ear while we're going through here. And I mean, I am just all jacked up. Plus, we didn't have anything to drink but water and coffee. So we got water bottles, and we would take 5 of the Folgers out of an MRE, dump those in a water bottle, shake it, and slam dunk it. So I mean, we're just. I mean, I look like
wired for sound.
Okay, so in the tanks, did y'all have the readings where did y'all have it mounted on tanks for readings for like sarin gas, mustard gas, all that stuff?
So no, what it was is when we stopped, they would put them out. They had little units. And you said the nomenclature earlier, John. But they would put
made alarm.
Yeah,
they made alarms. Okay.
Yeah.
So being a forward observer, or what'd you say, 13 Foxtrot? Forward observer. So you guys are ahead of everybody else. So Darin, let me ask you this: you guys would get the information, or you're gathering the information to relay it to the back. Hey, this is what's up here.
Okay.
When did you know that, hey, shit's about ready to start?
Okay, so during Desert Storm, so if you're with a mechanized unit, all the shit you've been taught gets thrown out the window. Because those tankers love you guys. They love us. They're like, man, you can call for fire, you save us. You tuck right in between this big circle, stay right in the middle. We will protect you. So during combat, we're in the middle. And I mean, we're trying to keep up, but we got tanks. And what it was is one of our companies was Bradley. Now I'm gonna tell you what, that's the biggest piece of monkey crap that the Army ever invented.
You didn't like the Bradleys?
I like the Bradley tanks.
Well, let me tell you how good these Bradleys were. So we hit Al-Besya, we destroy everything in place. We go up and we hit the Battle of 24 Easting. And this was right around, I mean, we were smooth sailing for almost 12 hours. I mean, little resistance here and there. We caught a company and a half of T-62s that were not even defilated. They were just sitting out in the open. Had supply trucks with them and everything. And the Bradleys really hadn't done anything. I mean, the tankers have been just fucking same old one round down range. Everything's blowing up. So this guy pulled up in the Bradley and goes, "This is my shot." So he calls the tow. I'm up in the hatch watching, and that tow missile just goes right off the side of a T-62. I mean, did nothing to it. So about this time, I'm like, well, there's guys over there dealing with fuel. I'll call in some white phosphorus on them. I'll set their asses on fire. They'll know that they're going to be all in their 1,000 virgins here in a minute. About that time, Blue 4, he was the senior guy in Alpha Company besides the first sergeant, he comes across the radio and he goes, tells that guy, he goes, "You better move your Bradley." He said, "because there's a Sabo round coming right behind it in about 2 seconds. Well, the guy out of the Bradley, Sabo round goes straight down range, blows everything up. We get up and we hit the northern part of the Highway to Hell. And this is right when right as soon as we got change of mission. And we're parking and they're like, "We're going to camp here." And I'm looking and I'm like, "We're going to camp here." There's oil fields on fire all over the place. I can't even tell it's daytime.
Right. Perfect,
so
right?
Here come all these doggone T-64s and T-62s up the highway. And I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but somebody's ought to be like, "Hey, watch this, guys. I'm going to shoot around on them. Let's see what they do." That was a bad mistake.
Just wait a second. Hold on. So T-62 is yeah, but not our, it's their main battle tank, right? And so they just want to they just wanted to tease a fly and swat at it, just see what kind of reaction to see. Give them an opportunity to shoot at your ass. Why didn't they just tear them a new asshole instead of dinking with them?
So we came across all the nets that we had changed of mission. Peachtree had been signed. So we're like, okay. So I mean, we're setting up our perimeter and everything. Well, I don't know what the hell Johnny Bin Laden was thinking up, but he thought it would be a great idea to take a pop shot at one of the tanks. Well, that was a bad call.
Oh yeah.
The 3 companies out of the Hammurabi division lost their lives that day. It was over in 15 minutes. I would say close to 35 to 40 T-64s, T-62s went down. I will tell you this: we never suffered one casualty the entire time we were there.
Wow. That's
Uh,
amazing.
I will tell you the only casualty I ever saw was a dumbass sergeant major who decided to go kick a fucking doggone unexploded ordnance while his driver's seat, and it killed him.
Yeah. These guys at well, do you remember, Darin? I'm trying to think of what the name of those things were because they're just like cluster bombs. They're cluster
Okay.
bombs. We had some idiots, so cluster bomb drops and literally are small bombs. We had people that were playing catch with these fucking.
What?
I mean, we're like, lost all the freaking. Just, I mean, what in the
And
hell?
their ASVAB
know?
scores were
No,
really
we
low.
had a sergeant major that went up and kicked one and killed his driver, and they gave that son of a bitch a Silver Star.
So,
What?
Oh yeah, he lost his leg. They gave him a Silver Star.
because
We're playing with a freaking cluster bomb.
are you serious?
Oh yeah,
I played with a bunch of buttons and I didn't
Yeah,
get no Silver
but-
Star.
Well, but it's the whole concept of you're doing a dumb bullshit, stupid, like really young teenager type of thing that you would do because what's this? We're playing with unexploded ordnance. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so John Swartz on here, thank you. A cluster bomb, because I don't know one look. He goes, they remind you of yard darts, little yard darts.
That's what they look like. Yard darts,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
we're sitting there and we wiped them out on 24 Easton, and they're like, "Well, were you guys going to stay here in place? We'll let you know where we're going to move." Now I was probably 3 miles from two continuous burning oil wells.
okay.
Now somewhere I have a picture of me and my chief taking our BDUs and wringing those out and filling up 1 liter bottles of empty water bottles of nothing but crude oil.
Oh, that's crazy.
Black shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Now we
Just
stayed there
black.
for 42 days.
How long?
42.
42?
42.
Wow.
Now, of course, I try not to diss the VA. They've done what they can to help me. But I just went to my burn pit registration, and the lady goes, "Why would you stay in front of a burning oil well for 42 days?" And I said, "Honey," I said, "have you ever been in the military?" She goes, "No." I said, "Somebody tells you got fucking." I go, "You don't get to go."
You plant your ass and don't ask questions.
Right.
Is you're just
Right.
You know?
I mean, now I will say this though, because y'all were out there, and John, you didn't let him answer about the chemical alarms, and I want to get to
No.
that.
Okay, so the chemical alarm.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because do y'all get readings back?
So we pull up. So the first one is when we pull up, we get change of mission. So we get in our big circle and everything, and I've got radio watch that night. I mean, we've been up for 3 days straight, but I got a couple hours sleep. Chief goes, "Hey, can you cover from midnight to 6?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got this." So I'm sitting there, and I'm on the top of the track. I've got the radio going so I can hear him. I'm enjoying life, watching the oil wells burn in the background, and all of a sudden I hear all the tanks start up, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" So, of course, now when they build a perimeter, I'm talking it's a quarter of a mile walk to the CO's tent. That's how big their perimeter is. So, I throw my mask on. Hell, we're done with the war. I ain't got not a thought going through my mind. And I stroll up to the doggone commander's tent. I walk in, they're all Mach 4 looking at me going, "Gas, gas, gas." And I'm like, "What the?" And I start going, "You motherfuckers, you guys never tell fish shit and all this." Throw my stuff on.
It's funny, but it ain't.
I run back to the track, and my lieutenant and my chief were laying on the ground, and I shit you not, this was their exact thing. I'm standing over, I've got my mask on, trying to put my my suit on, and I'm like, "Gas, gas, gas." And my chief looks up at me and he goes, "Ah."
It's funny, but it ain't. I mean,
So here we are, we get all our shit on, we get in the back of the fist B, and of course, the first thing in our hands are answer key projectors.
Yeah.
We're like, if I'm going, I'm going to. So we're sitting there, and we're just waiting. Okay, the first one, you start shaking a little bit, you're going to get it. And so, needless to say, a tanker hit his smoke generator by accident, which
Oh
caused the MR.
shit!
Oh my gosh.
Now we come back from Desert Storm. I've been back from Desert Storm 3 months to get my mail over to the mailroom, and I get a letter from Department of the Army. Department of the Army says, "Hey, Darin Truax, we want to let you know that you can never give blood again because they used a nerve agent on you at the Battle of Al-Besya."
And that's exactly what he told me. Can you believe that?
Really? They really?
No,
You got a wait, oh, you got a letter, or you got what? Who told you this? How that?
That
I'm sorry, you broke
Army.
I got a letter in the mail from the Department of the Army.
a letter in the mail. Really? That's
No.
interesting. Because
So
when I
think
go to file for my disability, the VA says a letter from the Department of the Army will not work. We need people saying that you're actually on the ground when it's happening.
really,
I think not.
I see. This is how dysfunctional everything is in life. Is you
It's a
can
football.
right? You can have perfectly good letters, but they don't mean anything to these people over here because they don't look at, oh well, it's just the Army. We need it from such and such, Department of the Navy or Department of, of the Air Force, somebody. And it's true. If you really think about it, because there was a guy on uh uh oh god, his name was I call him Fonzo, but he comes in to the shop. He was on the show, and he had a letter also says he cannot give blood, and he got that from Department of the DOD, and then he got
defense.
and then he got another letter stating that he was exposed to uranium, he was exposed to this and that everything, and it took him 15 years later to even get anything from the VA, even though he's had cancers and stuff like that. It took him a long time. And that's
crazy.
Right.
I looked at the lady, I said, I worked for the Department of the Army. I said, they knew where they sent me. I said, so how does it disqualify? She goes, well, anybody could have made that letter up.
Oh boy.
You should have looked at her and said, honey, I hope you need blood because
Yeah.
I'm going to be the first one to give it to you.
Darin, did you retain that letter? Do you still have it?
It's somewhere.
in one of my boxes. This thing is going. I started trying to do my disability 12 years ago. I've not gotten a dime.
What?
Yes.
Not a dime. I've had 4 strokes, buddy. 4.
Yeah,
strokes.
I guess you told me that earlier. I'm like, how in the hell?
Come on, you cannot make this up, and that's the one thing about it is I was talking to a guy, Darin. I want y'all to listen to this. Me and him were talking, and this guy was in the barbershop. He's talking about all the wars. Never brought up Desert Storm. They go from World War I, World War II, Korean, and then Vietnam, and somehow skip us and go straight to Iraqi freedom. And he goes, well, Iraqi freedom is the same thing as y'all's. No, it wasn't. It's 2 different things. And I'm not putting anybody down. But stop skipping over us because that's what they do.
Hey, here's the love of my life.
Hi.
Hey.
And here's the one thing. I tell you what. That's exactly what we need to look out for right there is our kids.
The bad thing about it is my brother's a BSO. And like I said, we have an on and off again relationship. He ain't done shit for me.
Right. See,
but, he was in the Marine Corps for 8 months as an H6 mechanic, decided he tried to move an H6 engine by himself, ruptured 3 discs in his back, and now he's 100% disabled. It is what it is.
So I mean,
I haven't had a car since May. We walk everywhere. If it wasn't for kindness of others, we wouldn't go to church. I mean,
What kind of things Darren, did when you come back, did you, I mean, you explained you had 4 strokes. What kind of things did you have that you're experiencing?
when you first
Obviously
got back?
Yeah.
I never even knew I had. 3 of them I never even knew I had. And they were big ones. That's the big thing. The 4th one, it was 6 years ago. I was getting ready to go up. I was getting out of bed to go to work, and my whole left side was done. I couldn't move. So I went to the bathroom, had my wife help me put my leg up in the showered, and I went to work. I worked for 4 hours. My boss looked at me and said, "You're going home." I said, "You can't send me home." She goes, "You can't work here right now." She goes, "You're going to fall over." She goes, "You're dropping papers all over the place." So I went home and I sat there for 3 days debating whether it was worth it to go see a doctor or not. Went to the doctor and he said, he goes, "Honest God, Darren," he goes, "I don't know how you did it." He goes, "Because I should be telling your wife that we're going to teach you how to talk again. We're going to maybe teach you how to walk again. You may be able to feed yourself." He said, "Because you've got a 14 millimeter scar on the side of your brain that's 3 millimeters wide." He said that you'll never get an idea of any memories in there. I went to Maui sometime in my life and got a tattoo here. I don't remember it.
Wow.
I tell you what, the brain fog and everything. But what we need to do is get him in touch with Sean.
Yeah, you took words right out of my mouth. I said, we're going to put you in contact. We'll put you in contact with somebody who gets shit done, and we know this for a fact. So we'll do what we can. You're going to have to do some things on your own, Darren. But this guy is very good at what he does. So,
and like I tell everybody, guys, I'm 55 years old. I got a wife and a daughter that if I go tomorrow, they have nothing right now. I lost $1 million in stock options in a divorce. I lost $440,000 in doggone 401k in my divorce, and I got left with nothing. We've been homeless twice, once to my own accord because I thought that it'd be better off without me in this world. So I just went and did what I had to do. The second time was the VA forgot to send an $85 rent payment out of a $785 rent payment. And when I called them and said, "Hey, you guys didn't send your part," and they said, "Well, looks like you're not our problem now." So my daughter at 2 years old, my wife and I slept in a Chevy Aveo in Eastern Washington for 6 months that could not run, had no heat, had no air conditioning. Now, if you've never been to Eastern Washington, during summertime, it gets to 112 degrees.
Well, see, I'm
for a group of people called 3% out in Eastern Washington. VA would have never got me into a place.
And so for people who are suffering with stuff and that, and it helps Sean, and I'm going to send you his information, and what you're going to do is send him an email, and Sean will get you on the right ball. We'll get you with Ashley, have them sit down and talk with you. They'll tell you exactly what you need to do. No vet. I don't give a flying shit what anybody says, and I will say it on the air. No vet or their family should ever go homeless. I don't give a crap. We should be living in better houses than most people. Yeah. Most vets should, and especially ones that need to be taken care of.
They were nice enough to close this Air Force base down, and somebody said, "Hey, we'll make it into house." And luckily, I got in here.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, to me, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Sometimes you don't know why, but it just leads you that way. I mean, and I hate for anybody that has to go through that. I think that's one of the worst things ever. But it also puts you in contact with people who can help. And even with Denise, she's putting comments down in here that y'all might want to check her comments. Her name is Denise Nichols. She's also very, very familiar with this stuff. And she's like, Bergman and Moore is the best. And they're out of D.C. and they get claims done fast. And so she'll probably send me some information that I can send to you.
So we'll get you on the right path, Darren.
We'll get you on the right path with people, Darren.
Yeah. Have you, just one quick question, Darren? Have you ever been to a CMP exam or no?
What's the CMP exam?
So that answer is no. It's a compensation and pension exam through the VA. So the answer is no. So
one when I had no vehicle and wanted me to go to 347 miles to Chicago to have one.
no, see, that's the see, no. Okay, so we'll get you squared away. So we'll push that to the side right now. We're and we'll get when
We'll talk more about that in the
end of
after
night,
show.
Yeah, we'll get you squared
Yeah,
away.
we're gonna talk about
So-
this in the after show a little bit more. But we are getting closer to the end of the program for right now. But Darin, is there anything you would like to say?
Yeah, there's two things I want to talk about.
Okay.
Number one, you know, I had in my lifetime, I've had a lot of guys that I really enjoyed serving with. One is Ed Homeyer, and Ed was a hard charger with me at Fort Hood. He revamped him and I and a couple other guys revamped the way we did combat observation laser teams for going air assault and all that stuff. He got back into special forces, was a sniper, did 7 tours in Afghanistan, 2 in Iraq, and a year after his new baby was born, he just couldn't cope with it anymore and ended up taking his own life. So, you know, I've got a banner that hangs up in my living room that says 22 lives is way too many.
I agree.
And, you know, and it is. Not a day goes by that I don't think about Ed Homeyer. He was probably one of the coolest cats I ever met. The other guy I want to talk about, I might take about 5 minutes if this is okay. When I was at Fort Hood, we had a guy named David Nelson. He's a private, straight out of basic training. I was actually the NCO IC of the training room at the time, and they put him in a FIST team. This guy had never driven a tracked vehicle or anything in his entire life. They sent him up to OP1 at Fort Hood, and if you've never been there, even I driving a tracked vehicle got scared at OP1. They told him to drive down. One thing led to another. The track flip. It cost his chief his right arm. They were getting rid of him. They were going to DX him and send him to another unit. I said, I want that guy. I said, he's a hard charger. We went to NCC that year, got a hill named after us. We had a bounty on our heads for 2 weeks paid leave if anybody could find us. And for the full 10 days of force on force, not a soul could find us.
In fact, well, good for you guys.
So I have a hill named, it's called Vader Hill. My call sign was Vader 6. David Nelson is my success story. We went back after that NCC, and I go, hey buddy, you're up for re-enlistment. He goes, Chief, the only thing I'm re-enlisting for is Ranger Battalion. He goes, you don't get me there? He goes, I'll see y'all later. I played softball. Softball again comes in good in the military. Lenny Johnson was his name. I said, hey, Lenny, I said, I need an appointment to Ranger Battalion ASAP. I said, you got 3 weeks. He goes, who's it for? I explained to him what's going on. He goes, give me a little bit. Week later, I looked at Nelson. I said, you ready to re-enlist? He goes, why? What's up? I said, you report to Ranger Battalion in a week.
Wow.
Birds, we went out to the mount site. Major Waters, who hadn't been in a helicopter in 14 years, comes down with us. We re-enlist him right there. Wish him well, send him on his way. Hadn't talked to him in 15 years.
Oh.
I get an email one day that says, I hope this is Sergeant Truax. He goes, this is Dave Nelson. He goes, I want you to know you changed my life. He goes, I went to Ranger School. He goes, I got there, and he goes, I was good at what I did. He goes, I was so good. He goes, they let me go to Warrant Officer Candidate School. He goes, I'm retiring at 30 years now as a Warrant Officer 5 Black Hawk helicopter pilot.
Really?
He said, my brother and I, he goes, my brother got out because he hurt his back. He goes, every year we do the best Ranger Battalion to make money for Wounded Warrior Project.
That's great.
So now I will tell you.
That is good.
Kevin, in Oklahoma, David Nelson is now running for state senate. So if there's anybody in the Oklahoma area, David Nelson deserves your vote because that kid's a true American.
That's badass, man. And you know what? I totally agree with you. You know, I look back at everything that people have done and the way people have touched their lives. I mean, there's a lot of guys, I mean, that I could tell you touched my life whenever I was in the military, man. I mean, my boatswain, a guy named Vetch, Stillwell, so many people had touched my life when I was in, and we all still stay in contact. Cider, uh, Shannon, John Krasberg. The list can go on. Lonnie, Nancy. I can name so many of my shipmates that have touched my life, and we all still keep in contact. I love them just like they were my brothers and sisters. But now that we're ending the program, we are going to hit into the after the show. Darin, thank you, and thank your wife for setting you up.
I mean, guys, you guys don't know what you've done for me.
Hey, man.
I got to sit down and talk shop, and to me, it changes my whole outlook on things right now.
And this is how we're going to do the programs. I think for a while, we're going to bring back old stuff. We're going to bring back new stuff, but we want to document our stories. We want this to be known as this is Desert Storm. This is what we went through, and this is so that way our kids don't go through the same stuff we did. John,
well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna get my boxes, and I've got pictures. I've got probably 200 pictures from Desert Storm.
Oh my God, yeah, so do I. I got boxes and boxes and boxes. And John, thank you as usual for coming on. But we're gonna hit the after show. Darin, stay on.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, and thank y'all for listening. And by the way, email me anybody that wants to come on the program at kevinsimon@goforcesideffects.com. Y'all go check out our YouTube. We're building our YouTube page up. That's the only thing left to build up. And also go check out our Patreon. Everybody have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.